Hello and welcome to Factual Insider, the channel that strives to cover as many facts as possible. Today we will be discussing 10 facts about Sonic and Disney's history together that you may not know. If you find any of the facts to be interesting, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive notifications. Please be aware that this video may contain spoilers, so you have been warned. With that being said, let's get started. Number 1. Back in the late 1980s, Sega of America contacted Disney to work out an agreement to work on collaborative projects and games to help compete against Nintendo at the time. Sega thought by having the brand recognition of Disney on the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, it would help bring a potential audience to Sega away from Nintendo. Disney agreed to let Sega work on Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse that released back in 1990 for the Genesis and Mega Drive and was supervised by Disney animators. Disney would end up being very pleased by what Sega created for Castle of Illusion and wanted to return the favor for Sega. During the start of the 1990s, Disney wanted to create a cartoon or project using one of Sega's IPs. Unfortunately at the time, there weren't many franchises under Sega's wing that would work well with Disney, and Alex Kidd seemed to be the only feasible option. Once Sega would release the original Sonic the Hedgehog back in 1991, Disney finally had a Sega IP that they could work with. Animators at Disney would then create a few test animations that would be presented to Sega of Japan. Sadly, Sega of Japan did not approve of the work, and Disney would instead make multiple Sonic-inspired comics for the Disney Adventures magazine, and leaving the test animations of Sonic the Hedgehog hidden deep within the Disney vault. Number 2. Known as the longest-running video game-themed comic book series of all time, Archie Comics released the Sonic the Hedgehog comics back in February 1993 and would continue the series until December 28, 2016, with IDW making their own Sonic the Hedgehog-themed comic book series in April 2018. When Archie Comics was working on the Sonic the Hedgehog comic series, there were multiple references of Disney characters within the comics. In issue 16, readers can find a character next to the Freedom Fighters that looks very similar to Winnie the Pooh, and can also see roboticized variants of Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore. Of course, it doesn't stop there. In issue 37, readers can also find a mouse that looks very reminiscent to Mickey Mouse, and in issue 76, there are characters that can be seen in the background that look like Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore and Owl. Finally, in issue 221, there is a concert in the comic that has silhouettes that are reminiscent of Darkwing Duck and Scrooge McDuck. Number 3. When it came to character design, Sonic the Hedgehog had many different influences into his overall look along with his personality as well. While to some this similarity may be obvious, Sonic the Hedgehog was inspired by two classic cartoon characters, which were Felix the Cat, and to fit the theme of this video, he was also inspired by Mickey Mouse for his character design. For more detail about Sonic's character design, please be sure to check out our other video, 15 interesting facts about Sonic the Hedgehog you may not know. Number 4. Back in 1994, located in Bay Lake, Florida, Sega and Disney had a collaboration at the Disney amusement park Epcot and redesigned the Innovations exhibit to a Sega-themed arcade, which featured not only arcade machines of various Sega games but also featured kiosks that allowed guests to play multiple Sega titles on the Genesis. The exhibit was known as Sega World and had many different Sega-themed decorations such as gigantic Sonic statue, and guests could also meet the Sonic characters in costume, just like meeting the various Disney characters scattered across the Disney-themed parks. Sega World closed in 2001, not long after its redesign in 1999 to help fit Sega's more recent release, which was the Dreamcast, along with its library of games. Number 5. Of course, Sega World was not the only Sega-themed appearance that would appear at Epcot. Disney theme parks have underground tunnels beneath the various theme parks that are not accessible to the public to allow Disney employees quick and easy access to travel quickly to the various locations that are scattered across the parks. Interestingly, at Epcot to this day, a Sonic painting can be found in the underground tunnels at Epcot, despite Sega World no longer being present at the Disney theme park many years later. Number 6. The channel ABC was purchased in 1995 by Disney and would become another brand under the growing Disney arsenal of properties that continues to grow to this day. With the new acquisition, this allowed Disney to broadcast shows that were already under agreement to broadcast on ABC. One of these shows happened to be The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog that originally aired from 1993 to 1996. Disney decided to rebroadcast The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog for a rerun from 1998 to 2002 on Toon Disney, allowing for a new audience to experience the Blue Blurs cartoon. Number 7. Back in November 1994, Sony ImageSoft published the game Mickey Mania, The Timeless Adventures of Mickey Mouse, and the game was released onto the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis and Sega CD in North America with an original PlayStation release that was exclusive to Europe. Being a Disney-themed game that was not published or worked on by Sega, there was still one small Sega reference in the game. During the credits of Mickey Mania, after the player has beat the game, the player can see two individuals listed within the credits which were credited as Tony Sonic Parks and Phil Tails Snake. Number 8. While Disney for a brief period would have special circumstances in place for the Magic Kingdom to air the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog on their own network, it wouldn't stop there. DiC, which was the original animation studio that worked on the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, would be rebought by its original owner, which was Andy Hayward, but still maintained a good relationship with Disney. Due to the relationship of DiC and Disney being on good terms, there was a special exception that allowed Disney to have a rerun in 2012 of Sonic Underground on Disney XD, which originally aired in 1999. Sonic X would also have a run on Jetix in Europe from 2003 to 2009, and Disney of course was the parent company of Jetix. Number 9. Sonic the Hedgehog would also appear into 3 different Disney films, which were the original Wreck-It Ralph and its sequel, along with the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers film released in 2022. While in modern times, fans may already be aware of the ugly Sonic in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which was meant to be a parody of the original Sonic design for the 2019 Sonic the Hedgehog movie, along with Sonic's appearances in the original Wreck-It Ralph that were more subtle than Sonic's appearances in the Wreck-It Ralph sequel, in which the blue hedgehog helped play a more significant role in the film. Fans may also remember the appearances of Dr. Eggman in the Wreck-It Ralph films, which of course is the main antagonist in the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Number 10. While blatantly appearing in the 3 Disney films as mentioned from the previous fact, there would be multiple references of the blue blur in multiple other projects that had Disney involvement in. The beloved Halloween classic Hocus Pocus in 1993 would feature a young child dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog in a Halloween costume in the film. In the 10th episode of the first season of Gravity Falls, Dipper is looking in the fridge and says he is unable to find any power-ups, which include gold rings. However, Amphibia would be a cartoon from Disney that would have several Sonic the Hedgehog references spanned out across the show. Viewers can see a loop-de-loop with flowers that look reminiscent to Green Hill Zone, which was the first level in the original Sonic the Hedgehog. There was also a Dreamcast that could be found with a game that looks like the original Sonic Adventure shown in the thrift shop in Amphibia. There is also a chase of hedgehogs that appears in the show, with one hedgehog that is blue with red feet, along with other multiple Sonic references in the show as well. Well, there you have it. Those were 10 facts about Sonic and Disney's history together that you may not know. Hope that the video was enjoyable and entertaining. You are encouraged to watch more facts about gaming and other miscellaneous topics. See you next time.